These are tests on bricks. First topic is your absorption test. Now, we have completed that. In absorption test, we are having two 24-hour cold water and 5-hour hot water. Next is your compressive strength test. Anyone is having doubt in absorption test? Any doubt? No? It is also called as crushing strength test. Now, by the name itself, you can learn the procedure. How? This is compressive strength test. Name compressive means there is a pressure in the load. You need to compress the things or materials for pressurizing. There are two type of forces. One is tensile, other is compression. Tensile means pulling force, compression means pressing force, right? What is crushing? Crushing means to break down any material in a particles or in a powder form. That means you need to press the material. That's why this both names are same. This method can be called as compressive and crushing both. Now, what happens? This requires a machine. Obviously, that's why we are doing this, performing this test in a lab. We need to have a machine named CTM. What is CTM? CTM is compressive testing machine. Have you ever seen it? Today I will show you. Okay, compressive testing machine is called as, in short, CTM. Now, what will be the steps? While you are writing anything, any procedure, mark it as step 1, 2, 3, 4. What is step 1? Today we will see when we are opting a brick, when we are taking a brick, there is a logo or a mark above that. That is called frog. For this process, we need to hide that logo. For the purpose, if there is a depreciation, suppose here is a brick, if there is a depreciation of a logo here, then what happens? There will be some gap, right? We need to have a plain surface above and below the bricks. What we need to do? We need to cover this frog by mortar. What is mortar? It's a mixture of a cement, sand and water. In Hindi it's called masala, right? What we need to do, we need to cover the mortar and plane the surface of the brick in top and bottom. Bottom is already being planed, we need to cover the top. We have covered it with the filling of a mortar, make it dry and use it. After drying, what is the process? So first process will be filling of mortar in frog. It's a very basic language which I am writing, but you should not write this in this language. Your procedure should be not written in this language. The whole, a great or a pure language will be given you in the notes. But for understanding purpose, I am writing this as in a local language. Filling the mortar in the frog, that will be your first step. Second step will be, you need to place the brick in CTM. You need to place the brick in CTM. How CTM is in a format? Look at here. Here is a pressure machine. Here is a plate having a gap, then second plate at the bottom, and here is the machine. Likewise, there is a CTM machine. After that, here is a machine connected with it having a dial gauge which calculates the load. These both are connected with each other. Here are two plates. In between them, we place the bricks. In between them, we place the bricks and the loads are being calculated in the side part of the load calculation dial gauge. Okay, what happens when brick is being placed here? The load will be, readings will be noted from here and the load applied between these two plates. These two plates are responsible for applying loads, compressive load. These two plates are compressive load, applying load here on the brick. What happens when we place the brick in the CTM machine? That means we are placing brick here. If there are plates, then it's okay. If sometimes it happens there is no plate, the machine directly applies the load. There are some formats of machine. You have ever seen that? There are many formats of everything, right? If you are having a purchasing a comb at least, then there are too many varieties. Somebody is having handle, somebody is rounded, somebody is plain, likewise. So CTM machine has also varieties. If the plates are not being heated, you need to place a plate or a plywood at the bottom or upper surface of the machine. If there is a plate, then it's okay, but if plate is not there, you need to place it, the plywood or a plain surface plate, above and below the brick. For the purpose, the load coming here can distribute easily on the plate and the surface of the brick will covered with the uniform load, right? If there will be a pointed load or some surface load, what happens? A particular surface of a brick will be loaded, the rest portion will be unloaded. What happens? The brick will break fast, right? A certain portion will break fast. So for the uniform distribution of load, we need to connect or place a plate here. The plate load will distribute the whole surface evenly. So place the brick in a CTM machine. If plate will be not there, place plate or plywood. You know plywood? Okay. What's the third step? Third step is a basic step. You need to apply the load. You need to apply the load at the rate of 14 Newton per mm square per minute. You need to apply the load at a constant uniform speed of 14 Newton per mm square per minute. How you will apply? It must be a question in your mind. How will you apply? How would you know that it's a 14 Newton for a per minute? How will you apply? Here is a, below the dial gauge, here is a regulator where we can set the load per minute. How much load we can apply per minute. Here is a regulator. We are setting it at a 15 Newton per mm square. At that constant load, the load will be given to that brick only. The machine has a regulator. That's why we are setting it in a 14 Newton per mm square per minute. Now what happens? When we are applying load at this speed per minute, there will be certain point when load increases above 14. After time passes, there will be increase of the load. That load will be noted down in this dial gauge, and at this dial gauge, we note out the reading where the brick breaks or where the brick fails. We need not to crush it. We have to only note the reading where the brick has a cracking point, where the brick cracks. That is the breaking or failure point of your brick. You need not to crush the brick. Why? Because if your structure fails, you are not waiting for the purpose, the whole structure will fallen down. If you see that it just deforms or falls from a particular point, you will just leave at that place, right? At the time of earthquake, what happens? The whole structure doesn't collapse suddenly. It collapses from a side or from a bottom or from everywhere. At that time, what you need to do, you need to think for that if a load is applied anywhere, you do not to wait for the crushing purpose. You have to wait for only the cracking purpose. If the crack develops, then it means that it has a failure point there. Suppose we are getting the load value after calculation 230 Newton or kilonewton. The dial gauge is a measurement of kilonewton. You need to convert it in Newton. That conversion is very easy for calculation purpose. Suppose we are taking example of 230 Newton load is applied for the breaking point. 230 Newton, what happens is not the strength of the brick. We are doing the compressive strength test. This is the load, but it is not the strength. Then what is the strength? Our procedure is end up now. This is our last step, step 3, applying the load and wait for the failure. We are getting this much load. The procedure is done, but the experiment is not. Your calculation part is left out. This is the only value of load. Listen carefully, this is only the value of load. Strength you need to calculate. What is the difference between the load, maximum load and strength? It must be same. You are thinking it must be same. If it is a breaking point, then it is the strength. Then why we are extra calculating or thinking that strength is something different? Can anybody explain why I am saying? If the last limit of the break is this, then what is the strength? Ultimately this will be the strength, but not. This is not. Your strength is something different. The answer is here in step 3 only. Read it once. What we are doing, listen carefully, what we are doing, 14 Newton per mm square. That means we are taking 14 Newton in a single unit of mm square. That much load we are using for applying on bricks. So this load is for per mm square. You need to calculate it for the whole surface area of the brick. Right or wrong? Here we are applying load for 14 Newton per mm square and we are getting this load. But we need to have this value for not for 1 mm square, for the whole surface of this brick. At least the bed surface where brick are being placed in the plate. What I am saying, understanding you all? That's why we are calculating it for the whole surface or the bed surface which are being touched on the plate. So for that purpose we have a formula that is for compressive strength of bricks are calculated as applied load, that is 230 upon cross section area. Cross section area of bed face. What is bed face? Bed face means the faces which are lying above and below the plate. That means this surface and this, the shaded portions are the bed surfaces. Now we can justify or say that this area, cross section area, has this much compressive strength. Right? Understood? Or need one more explanation? If required, you can easily tell me. Now, what happens? In some books, you must be confusing that in some books, what happens here? There are two bed faces, right? There are two bed faces above and below. In some books, here it is written average. If I am writing average, that would have the same value if I am not writing here average. Why? Suppose this is applied load is 230. Your cross section area, that means your cross section area will be L into B, here L into B. If I am not writing average, that means L into B will be the compressive strength. Now, if I am considering the average, that means L into B, 2L into 2B upon 2, that will be the average. The both values will be same. In some books, here it is written average of the cross sectional area, bed faces, but in some books there are only cross section area of the bed face. So both are same. Don't get confused if you are reading while a book is being written both in the both way, average or cross section area, both. Right? In my notes, I am not written average. I don't remember I had written average or not, but if I have written, don't get confused, both values are same. If you are making average, that means by 2. If you are not, then make a single only. Why I have to calculate the average and all things, right? So this is your compressive strength value of the brick. Is anything is tough here for the procedure? No, it's very simple. Fill it with mortar, make it dry, then use it as in a compressive testing machine, apply the load. You need not to do anything. Everything will be done by the Suppose if I am doing average, here I am doing 2L into 2B, because L into B is the area of one phase, L into B is area of second phase. That's why 2L into 2B, then upon 2 will be common, 2 will be cancelled, only L into B will be there. Having doubt? Okay. Let me just explain. Here is a value of L will be, suppose here is a length value will be 5 and here width value will be 2. Okay? By value I am understanding, make you understand. Here I am not assuming the average, only the cross section area. 230 into 5 into 2, that will be 230, that means 23. Now, if I am considering the average, what will be the average? That is 230 upon, that is 5 into 2, that is 10 plus 10 by 2. Then what happens? 10 plus 10, 20, 20 by 2 is again 10, the answer will be same. Okay? Having any doubt? Okay. This procedure is same or similar to the testing of a brick or testing of a cement. While you are testing a cement, that means you need to create a cube of cement, and by that you need to follow the procedure. By that you have to follow the procedure in CTM machine and find out the value of crushing strength of anything. If you are given cement, you need to create a block of cement. If you have given bricks, you need to create the block of brick. You need to create a block? No, the brick is already a block. You have to simply put up it in a CTM machine and test it out. No procedure should be followed. Only the mortar filling is the main purpose. Rest all thing will be done itself by the machine. You have to set it in a mode of 14 Newton per mm square. Okay, then itself the machine will be take the readings or a note. Here is a loophole. Nobody had asked me, ma'am, if there will be a mistake for looking at the load, because we can't see at the same time, we can't look at both the times. If the brick is got breaked, if there is a missing in the load, then there will be an error organized or occurred. Okay, what happens when there is a dial gauge calculating the load? The dial gauge, if covers a load while the bricks got breaked, it suddenly, by diagram I will show you. There is a dial gauge, the load increases and the clock revolves in a clockwise direction. But while a braking should be there, the clock rotates anti-clockwise. Suddenly your bricks will fail, or where the bricks have or develop a crack, the loading will be just opposite. The load will decrease, start to decrease. That means your load is increasing here, the load will start to decrease. The reading will be opposite, start decreasing. Then you will find out that the load is decreasing, that means your brick got already failed at a point. Here is a pointer which marks that at this point the brick is failed. By that only you have to calculate. Now there is one loophole also. Here we are using mortar. Nobody had asked me, ma'am, while we are using mortar here, there will be certain strength of mortar also. Then how will we say that there is a strength of brick only? Mortar had some strength also while we are covering it with the frog. It's a question, but nobody had asked me. That means you are not thinking it in your mind. You need to understand things like what I am saying. You need to think it, imagine it, or understand it. Then you will have the questions in your mind. What happens? A frog has only certain depreciation. That means a minimum value. At that value, if we fill the mortar, we neglect the strength of mortar there. That's why we are using mortar, but not considering its strength, as it is a strength of only brick. We are neglecting the strength of mortar there. Okay? Anything left for the loophole? Everything is cleared? Everybody? I'll not repeat the class same. Yes, at the back, you are getting me? Cleared everything? You need not to do anything. Fill the motor, place it in CTM machine, apply the load. Load will be calculated, put it in a formula, get the value and neglect. If anybody will ask you why not to calculate the motor strength, tell it as neglect the strength of the motor because the depreciation of rock is very minimum. This is a question of a practical. Nobody will ask you this in theory. This is a question of practical examination, right? So we are stopping here. There are two processes we have completed, that is absorption test and compressive strength test. Today we will performing the absorption test in the lab. At the next class I will prepare the brick with the mortar, and at the next class you will perform the compressive strength test. Okay. Okay. Here is the answer for SPJ. I had asked the question that here is a frog named SPJ. Why is it so? It is nothing. The P inside it is me, this is my sister and this is my brother. It's a joke for everybody.